Nowadays, science and technology have become essential for the world's development, and opportunities like this one are perfect to put our skills into action, show what we are made of, and demonstrate the world what we are capable of doing as a nation. We are Team Mexico.
Each year, all the participant countries of the first Global Challenge get the task to recruit a selection of 5 members and 2 mentors to work together and build a robot to compete in the international field of the Global Championship. I'm Leo Salazar, and I'll work with the team as a mentor for the programming and electronics areas.
The programming area has the task to bring to life every system and mechanism that exists in the robot. Our abilities with coding, as well as our logic thinking and technical knowledge, allows us to do this in the most efficient, clear, and elegant way.
Right now, our efforts are aimed to develop a robot code as soon as possible, but we are thinking even further, and we are learning about different programming forms and methods in order to help several foreign teams with their projects.
Designing the robot chassis or its specific mechanism seems to be easy, but in fact, it's a whole adventure by itself. Part of my job is doing this in the very first time, as well as connecting and setting up all the electronic components in the robot.
I'm really excited about this new opportunity. We are ready to give the best of ourselves. And for me, my job is to keep all the team's social media updated, as well as present all the multimedia material when they are needed. It's awesome to be part of this. I'm really enjoying it.
Building the robot is a whole process. For thinking what mechanical systems are more suitable to our necessities, to creating prototypes every single time a new mechanism is required. My job is to coordinate these efforts to get the best results possible.
Right now, we are working with the available rep kits we have. Our team strategy is a rolling process, and we are sure that as soon as we have it, the mechanism of the robot will be completely ensured.
Also, there are guidelines and due dates we must follow. One of our principal responsibilities is to be in constant contact with our sponsors, the media, all the other teams in the world, and various organizations. All of these activities, as well as the documentation related, are down to me.
We're all taking the best of ourselves, and we know that being here represents an enormous responsibility. But we also know that there's no bigger pride than representing your country and their people. My name is Max, and I'll be the coach for the 2019 Mexican First Global Challenge team. We are ready to put in height not only our efforts, but more importantly, our nation.
Hi everyone! Welcome to this new edition of First Global Talks. Today we're gonna be having some conversations and we're gonna be sharing the program with Team Albania, UK, and Iran. And we are Ricardo and Sofia. Welcome to this new edition.
Well, so first of all, why don't you introduce yourselves, guys? Go ahead.
Team UK, please.
All right. Hi, I'm Dom from Team UK.
Hello, I'm Jamal from Team Albania.
And this is Mohammed from Iran.
Okay, we are Sophie and Ricardo from Team Mexico, and welcome to this second show of Global Talks. So let's begin, shouldn't we?
Well, as you know, we are 8 weeks left from Dubai, and we would like to know, teams, what have you been doing? How is everything going? Like the last weeks, what have you get done?
So why don't we begin with Team UK? Go ahead, please.
All right, so we received our kit 2 weeks ago, which was really exciting, and we've really just been building the entire time since. We've been doing a little bit of outreach, which we'll talk about later, but we've been really focusing on building the mechanical side of our robot, and we're nearly done with our build, which is great.
Okay, I saw in your Instagram account that you were offering help for encoders and programming, right? How did that go?
So it's been going really well. Our programmer Patrick did the competition last year, so he's really good with encoders and with programming. And we reached out to First Global because our encoders were broken. So there's a video that's live, and you can find it on our Instagram and YouTube channel on how to fix broken encoders for your motors.
Okay, well, guys, if you get any doubt about encoders, make sure to check into FJC Team UK. I think your Instagram is under your image, so make sure to get in. And I have to say again that your Tower Bridge prototype was amazing. I really loved it. And how did you get to that? What were you thinking of, or how did you do it?
So as we were planning our robot, started to realize that we were planning to use more servos than we had. So we were kind of looking at how we could lower our intake, holding it with a really strong mechanism, but also not having to use 2 servos, so one on either side, to just lower it like that. So took some inspiration from the British culture of drawbridges and ended up using a spooling mechanism with the servo to lower it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. How about you, Team Albania? What have you been doing in these last weeks?
So we received the kit actually like a month ago, more or less, so I had a little more time than you guys. And in the last weeks, we mainly worked on our mechanism to actually shoot the micropollutants, because that's our main goal. So we want to score most of the points. That's what we're willing to do, to score most of the points with the micropollutants actually. And of course, our ultimate goal is the use level. And so far, we have only been able to shoot them to the middle level, actually. So to improve it, and we had various prototypes. We used the urethane belt, the orange at first. It didn't work because it wasn't fast enough to shoot them. So at the end, we ended up using the wheels, the wheels that have like the thick ones.
I saw one of your prototypes that I really liked. It was like a ramp that you were using for pollutants. It's really interesting. Yeah. How does it work exactly, or what's the main objective from that prototype?
Yeah, so basically we want to collect the micropollutants from the ground, from the playing ground, and then we want to bring them upwards with just a small drivetrain with some wheels, and then the last 2 wheels are actually supposed to go very fast because of a compound gear ratio with like a big gear in the input and a small gear in the output, and in that way it goes fast. And we actually managed to send it up to about 75 centimeters, which is actually not enough for the high goal, but we're working on it to improve it. So that was our main.
Okay, Iran, what have you been doing?
So hi again, and thank you for having me here. As you already know, Team Iran just received the robotic kit like last week, and we opened it yesterday. So we're working on building the main parts, but not really much because we don't have enough time, just like 12 hours with the pack. But I want to explain something for all of the guys that watching this live stream. Because of the sanction, we are unable to receive the robotic kit, the physical version of the robotic kit in our country. So the First Global team preferred to send it to me in Mexico City, and I'm there in Mexico City. And my students are in my country, Iran, and we have like some a Skype meeting together. And as you already know, between Iran and Mexico, we have a 9.5 time difference. So sometimes I have to like wake at 3 a.m. and start like online classes until 5 a.m. It's completely hard, but in another hand, it's completely sweet for me and for my student also. Uh, we design all of the part that we want to build it in the next days, but yeah, that's it.
Well, I think there's like a 9 hours difference between Mexico and Iran. So yeah,
Nine and a half. Yeah.
yeah, it should be, it
Wow.
must be,
A little bit complicated.
a little
doesn't
bit
it?
really complicated.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, it's awesome to see how you take care of your team, even while
Thank you so much.
Being
you're
like
far away.
2,000 kilometers away.
Yeah.
And I know that Team Iran has, it's one of the maybe, I don't know how to say it. You gotta buy, guys, that it's amazing.
Yeah.
You're always posting
Thank you so
on
much.
Instagram. You're always sending good vibes to all the teams. So that's amazing. Congratulations. And
Thank you
we
so
know you're
much,
doing a
Freddy.
great job, and we're hoping the best for you.
All of you guys, all of you teams, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you so much. And I have to say a special thank to Team Mexico City, Team Mexico, I'm sorry, because you guys are so amazing, awesome. And thank you for running this show and supporting all the teams. Thank you.
Oh my God.
It's a pleasure, guys.
Yeah.
You know, when we were planning this initiative, Global Talks, we said, well, we are like 160 teams in the world. We all of us got doubts. We all of us got things that we want to share with other teams. So we need like a platform to do it, and that's how Global Talks was born. So we hope that this kind of activities will be the best way to maybe increase our cooperation bonds and create more and more cooperation along the week, so we can all get the best of us in Dubai. So, well, I think it's, I just get another question. What are you planning for the next week, for example? So we can be waiting for it, or we can check your social media. Do you have anything you would like to say about what you're gonna do this next week?
Something you want to share?
Well, oh, sorry, who is that question? We're going to continue to finish working on our mechanisms for micropollutants. So we're already, like Team Albania, focusing on shooting into the high goal. And right now it's working, but it's a little inconsistent sometimes. We're working on getting our mechanisms more reliable so that when we go to Dubai this year, that there's no surprises when we open the crate.
Okay, and what about you, Team Albania?
It's pretty much the same for us, actually. We're trying to improve our mechanism and our prototype to make it much better. So we counted that we actually had 6 prototypes so far of our shooting mechanism, and looks like there is going to be a 7th and maybe an 8th as well.
That's a lot of prototypes, I think. Wow, that's awesome.
It's
And,
not working.
Yeah. And you, Iran?
And well, I have to say pretty awesome for us too, because we have to work on everything. We have a really short time, and we want to focus on first mechanical part. And in this week, we just work on like separating the pollution and shooter part, and that's it, buddy.
Wow, that's awesome. All of what you've just said is awesome, and we're hoping to see it in the next week. So make sure to check their social medias, guys. They're under their image. We have Iran, UK, and Albania social medias under their image. So go and check them out. And what about if we move to the next topic, that it's our main topic for today? And well, we all know that we are 8 weeks away from Dubai, and there are a lot of things to say. The robot, documentation, all the migratory stuff, but there's also an essential part that we have to take into account, guys. STEM and outreach. We all know that STEM and outreach are essential for any first team, and FGZ is not an exception. I think most of you have been working in the world of FRC or FTC, right? Haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we all know that STEM and outreach take an essential role when you're trying to involve your community in what you're doing. So I think all of us FGC teams in the world should be more aware of their importance and how to execute, program, and initiate activities that promote the participation of all the community. And that's exactly what outreach treats about. So to begin the discussion, I got a question for all of you. What are the type of activities and initiatives that you think any national team should consider and execute, and why do you think that? Talking about outreach.
So I think that for our team, something that's really important to us is using this opportunity to connect with teams all across the world, because we have a lot of FTC teams and First Lego League teams here in the UK that we work with, but Global is so special because we can all work together and we can all have more meaningful projects collaborating. So we've kind of been focusing on connecting different teams. So we made an LGBT group chat for teams who have LGBT members or just want to be allies that can join from the main WhatsApp. And then at home, we're mentoring a younger team for First Tech Challenge from our school, as well as several First Lego League teams at our school.
Yeah, I think that, as you said, FLL takes an essential role in the United Kingdom and especially in England. I think there are a lot of FLL teams, and believe me, in an FLL team, me as a mentor, I can tell you there's a lot of outreach and there's a lot of social work to do, and well, I think you got the correct experience to tell us about. Well, who of you want to talk a bit ago? It was, I think, Albania or Iran.
Okay.
Albania.
Yeah, sure. So, well, for us, we had to start to outreach actually pretty early in our season. Mainly focused our sponsorship mission, because we actually struggled quite a lot in obtaining our sponsors and finding available sponsors. And focusing more on that kind of outreach, so like internal in our country, we found that actually meeting authorities, local authorities, was very helpful, because actually our main sponsor now, which is Vodafone Albania, came from the mayor of Tirana, and from a meeting with the mayor of Tirana. We had actually a meeting with the mayor and with Vodafone, and we talked together, we talked about our project, and then they were interested, so we had a meeting at their headquarters, and in that way we were successful in finding our main sponsor. So that meeting authorities is a very important step in our outreach. Also, media appearances are extremely important, and we had a couple actually. Last year we had more, especially after the competition, in some local newspapers and news and TV news. And also we had another outreach experience in a robotics school here in Albania. It's called ICT Albania. We went there and we talked to kids that are following a course there about programming and robotics. Nothing. So we explained our program and they were very interested. We enjoyed it as well.
Okay, you mentioned something I think is essential. You were talking about the relation Team Albania has with Tirana's major, your capital city, and I think that's like really important, guys. You need to have key contacts. You need to be in contact with your local government. You need to be always in touch with a lot of authorities, so you may have support if you're trying to
make an impact.
Yeah. To maximize the impact and activities having, because there are levels of impact. You got the local activities, you got the regional activities, the national activities, and the international activities. Right now, as FGC teams, we get the opportunity to make international activities, such like this. And for that, you need to always be in touch with all, for example, all the other teams like you to get together and do this kind of activities. So we're going to talk about a bit later. So Iran, go ahead.
I want to start with this way. I mean, I believe the main reason of First Global and the main aim of the First Global is peace and friendship. A lot of young people get together with different culture, with different religion, with different government type, get together in the peace and friendship to solving the global problems. So we focus on these titles. I mean, first of all, we try to make a good relation and make a good contact with another teams, and I think we have it. And in another hand, in the day that people of my country live in really hard situation, and in the day that my country passing through a really lot of problem. I mean, from the political problem, from unfair sanctions, from economic problems, as you can imagine, many problem as you can imagine. We try to give them at least a little bit hope and at least a little bit happiness. So we try to inspire the young generation. We have like a lot of meeting with different schools. As you already know, I'm there like 1 years, but I keep in touch with in Skype, in WhatsApp, in anything that I can. I just try to give them hope and inspire them. And I believe this is the most interesting part that we do it. And in another word, we have a same problem. We have to find a sponsor, and we have to work hard about this subject. So we make a connection with a lot of local and international companies, and finally we got it. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I think each one of you has said something essential, and you're not exception, Iran. You were talking about context. You were talking about a background, and I think that's also essential. UK talked about your abilities, Albania talked about context, and you were talking about context, and that's also essential. For example, Iran, you get an interesting situation. Your country has an extraordinary culture. You get a lot of things to say about your country, but there are also some tough questions, I would say, some tough topics that may put into danger some of your outreach activities. But I think you have known how to overcross them and how to make them, instead of your weaknesses, they have become your abilities. So that's a good way, and I think you get a lot of experience about that. And well, I get the second question about this for you guys is when you are planning an outreach activity, what's the process you follow? Do you have any specific process for an activity, or what do you think?
So I think for us, we really look at what's the biggest impact we can make as a team, and whatever we're doing, why are we doing it? So with making the LGBT group chat, we have a lot of really personal connections within our team to the LGBT community. So that made a lot of sense if we wanted to provide this sense of community that exists in our country to other teams that might not have that and other members of First Global. So with things like that, we really saw that as our opportunity to share, say, something that we enjoy and something that we value a lot with other members who we think would really also enjoy it and also really benefit from having a community who's like them. When we were doing our outreach in the UK, so mentoring teams at our school, we kind of saw that as our responsibility to raise the next generation of engineers and programmers who will hopefully one day take our place. So that's kind of by being around them, by being part of their immediate community, that's our own personal responsibility to teach them, pass on these skills that we've been so lucky to learn from First Global.
And for example, you Albania, do you follow any specific process when doing outreach activities?
Well, as Team UK said as well, we look for impact. We want to impact as many people as we can in the field of robotics. I mean, for example, in Albania, FIRST is not present. So FIRST does not have national competitions in Albania. Actually, my FTC team at my school is the only FTC team in Albania. Martin was part of FLL teams in the past, and our school is the only access point that FIRST has in Albania. Our school and our FTC team as well. And the team manager is actually a former teacher from our school. So not having FIRST involved nationally is a struggle for us because it's not known in our country. So for this reason, our biggest the impact we can make is getting people to know FIRST in order to in the future bring first nationally. And that's what we've been talking about to the mayor as well. And that's our ultimate mission, actually.
Okay, there's something interesting about what you said, and is that it's true. Most of FGC teams in the world are the only first team in their country, and it's like really difficult to get people to discover what is first, because for example, in countries like Mexico or the US, there's already a first culture, or even the United Kingdom. But in Albania or in Iran, there are not a lot of teams, and you get the task to get your people know what you're doing and get into the first world. So that's a bigger like responsibility, and there are more things to do. And wow.
Yeah, because at the end, like, that's the purpose of first, like, to make your community, like, to let them know who you are, what are you doing, and to involve people on these activities. Yeah.
So if you're committed with that, and also with being an FGC team, you get all my respect, because it's an amazing, it's an amazing job.
It's huge, your work. Like, I think it's even more difficult for you to spread the message.
First.
Yeah.
And well, here in Mexico, we do have a process. For example, us as Team Mexico, and even before we got selected as Team Mexico, we were really interested into outreach. We are committed with our community. We got a lot of activities along the season, and we do follow a process. There's always a process behind every single activity, and you have just said it. The first thing of all is to look at your surroundings, look at your environment, and see what I'm looking for. What's the point? What do my community needs? For example, maybe there's been a huge global problem right now, and it's pollution.
Yeah.
And it's environmental damage. We all know what is happening in the Amazonia in Brazil. It's a terrific situation, and all of that begins with human processes. So we do have the responsibility, and it's a problem we have to fight as FGC teams, because at the end, we are a show of the best of technology in our country. So we have to do it. That's, for example, a problem. First of all, you need to select a series of problems in your community, and then you have to find a solution for that problem. And after you found a solution, you have to say, well, how am I going to put this solution into action?
Yeah, what can I do?
What can I do? What do I need? And whom I'm gonna talk to.
Yeah.
For example, Team Albania is in contact with their local government. Team Iran is in contact with other teams in the world. Team UK, I think you're in contact with your FLL teams in the United Kingdom. And well, each one of us has a list of contacts that we need to follow and we need to use to get our activity maximized, to get our activity to known. So that's the point of all. And you need a process, guys. We know if you don't follow a process, anything would be possible. Nothing would be possible. So yeah, that's the whole point of all.
And Martin, you want to add something?
Yeah, if I could say something. Going back to what you said about some countries only having one FTC or this first team in general, oftentimes it's also like the only real connection, especially for some countries that are not as wealthy as some others. It may be their only like real connection to tech world. It's important that you have that kind of connection.
Okay, yeah, I get your point, and then you're absolutely correct. There are a lot of things to plan, and we got the task to do it. So we gotta be pretty busy all the weeks, every day, every single time. So
yeah, but nothing is impossible, you know. Like, I know that if we all organize, if we get the tasks done, if we follow our process from each teams, I know that everything's gonna work it out, you know. We got something and we got a task as teams, and I know that if we were chosen to do it, it's because we're gonna do it right.
And we get the chance and the ability to do it.
Yeah, we got an amazing chance. I mean, Dubai. Well, for us, that's huge. That's massive, and it's we have to do a good work. You know, I think that's the important thing.
Okay, so I think. Guys, if you're watching this and you get any other question about STEM and outreach, You can make sure to put it into the chat room here, the live
Yeah.
chat room, or send it directly to any of our teams, and we'll be glad to answer it. And now let's move on to the next part of the show, and it's gonna be the Q&A. Every single week we got a Q&A, and well, remember that you can send your questions via our social medias before the transmission, or you can even send them through our YouTube live video or the live chat room here in Twitch. So, does any one of you already has a question that you want to make to any of us? Nope.
Oh, there.
Oh, there. Okay. Well, there's someone asking you, Gianmarco, if you're Italian because your name seems Italian.
Someone's asking.
I am Italian, yes.
Italian.
But you're working with Team Albania. Well, I get it.
Yeah, because I live here.
Yeah.
I've been living here for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been
Oh,
involved
that's
in
nice.
And that's interesting, you know, that you are from a country, but you're working with another team. And I have to say that here in Mexico, we got the same situation. Because
Yeah.
Sophie is not Mexican. Well, she's Mexican.
I'm Mexican, but I'm actually Canadian. And I'm working, like, I do live here in Mexico, so yeah.
I'm the same. I'm Australian, but
Oh my god! We got a lot of mix of countries in here.
What's next, Yoran? Are you from Mexico?
No, I don't think so, but Mexico is my second country. I used to live here from 1 year and I love your country, but yeah.
Okay, so we got a Team Albania with one person that is from Italy. We got Team UK with one person that comes from Australia. Team Mexico with Sophie that comes from Canada. And Team Iran that actually is transmitting from Mexico City.
Yeah.
So the
international live stream.
International live stream.
globalization at its best.
Yeah. Actually. Let's move to the questions.
Okay, so I got another question in here. Let me just get it here. I have to look for it. Okay, well, it comes from an African team. They sent this question to us yesterday, and they are asking about the migratory process. I think each one of us got some institution or some person in charge of those kind of processes, but well, they have no clue about how to begin that process. There's the country that sent this question needs a visa to get to Dubai. That's one thing I can tell you. So, well, has any of you have been working with all the migratory process or know anything about it?
No, but I think the Dubai government have a good connection with First Global, and they try to solve this problem for all of the competitor. Yeah.
Okay, so well, there's a process. Obviously, it's a competition. You got a lot of things to say. You got a lot of proofs of to where you are going and what you're doing. You are a national selection at the end. It's like the Olympics. You get the chance to go, and you're a national selection. So there shouldn't be such a problem for that. But I know there have been some troubles with some national teams that didn't get the chance to go to Mexico City last year, due to that, to migratory processes and migratory situations. So well, we are like 2 months from Dubai, so we'll still have time to solve them out. So yeah, if you get any doubt, don't make sure to ask us privately, and if you need any assistance, we can help you. And well, I think I got another question in here. Let me just look for it.
Oh yeah, one of them says, what kind of activities are the ones that have the most impact, like from outreach? Do you think that makes the most impact?
Well, I think that right now we are in August 2019. We should be focusing on environment, pollution, and environmental damage. As I said previously, there's been a terrific situation in Brazil, in the Amazonia, And we need to get
Not only there,
Well-
like in several countries, there have been.
all the countries that share the Amazonia, that goes Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela.
Yeah.
Well,
And also in my country,
yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
we need to get to work. I think we cannot just be sitting here doing nothing. Well, there's a whole country in fire. I mean, it's a terrific situation. It's been on fire, I think, 2 weeks now. And well, we need to think about better solutions. I think that from this show, I'm gonna begin with you guys, maybe a document or something about how to begin social impact activity. I think that's important. And maybe in a few weeks, we'll begin an activity for environment care. So make sure to check it out. And well, we're in national selections. Oh, go ahead, UK.
Something I would add to that is if you're looking to do something about the burning of the Amazon, joining your local Extinction Rebellion group, if your country has one, is a really great way to do that. Our team was protesting outside of the Brazilian embassy a couple of days ago with the global movement, which were all protesting outside of embassies across the world. So if you're looking to get involved as a team, that's a really great way to do it.
For example, here in the Brazilian embassy at Mexico City, some journalists have gone there and they've got the information. It's a mess in Brazil, in the whole Amazonia country, in the whole Amazonia area. It's a mess. They need volunteers. They need resources to put the fire out. And well, yeah, if you want to get involved in the situation in Brazil, make sure to go to your national embassy, your national Brazilian embassy, or your local consulate, Brazilian consulate, and ask how to help them. And believe me, they will accept your help, because what they need now are hands to volunteer and put this thing out, put the fire out, and well, help the Amazonia to get recovered. At the end is like the biggest lung of our planet, and we need to take care of it. If we lose it, well,
No, that would be terrific.
if we lose it, we're doomed.
Yeah.
Just like that, yeah. So, I think environmental care should be a priority for each one of us.
And not only in their, like, everyone in their own communities, like the even the smallest change, like, it makes a difference. Like if we are only like searching to make an impact on the biggest problems and we don't focus on our own community, I think that that's also a problem. And we should, like, but for example in Mexico there are still like a lot of issues, environmental issues. So I think that, yeah, everyone also should like focus on their own community, because like it's important. The world is important.
The world is important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's no doubt of that. Here's a question, and I think Team UK could explain it to us. There is a team asking for help with encoder, and as I said before, you have been doing some resources for encoders and how to program them. I think you got a video. So if you're watching this person who asked, you can make sure to go into Team UK social media, and you may find a link or a video.
There will be, the link isn't in there right now because we have the Twitch link, but right after this live stream, the link will be back on our Instagram. And if you go to our YouTube channel, it's on there as well. So that will all be on our Instagram in about half an hour.
Well, you've just heard, go and check their link. And well, I hope everything you're looking for the encoders gets solved. And well, Team Iran, some days ago, one of our mentors was asking, well, you are part of a country that is crossing through a lot of situations. Some of them are pretty heartbreaking. And tell me, what's your process or what's your motivation to continue doing this? Because there are a lot of things to do, and you're helping education, you're helping guys really away from you. So what motivates you every day to do this?
Yeah. First of all, I have to say, but changing the world, I think, is really easy. Perhaps this is a tropical sentence, but I believe it. And if we want to change the world, if I want to change my community, my country, the most easiest way is training more leader, training new leader with good idea, with good ability. And this is my passion. I mean, I started working on robotic when I was just 12. And I always dreaming about changing something important in my country. And I find out the only way that I have is teaching new leader with good ability. So we do it. And I think it's work because now I have a more student with really, let me uh, tell you an example. Uh, as you already know, in my country, we have some problem. I mean, not my country. My government has some problem with the Israeli government, and they already try to separate us and something like this. But in the first global competition, we make a really, really amazing relationship between Iranian student and Israeli student, and I mean, both of the nation change their idea. They understand Israeli people are so kind, Iranian people are so kind. So I'm really hopeful about next generation. And yeah, this is the reason that I always working without any support, with a lot of pleasure and pressure. And uh, yeah, you do it for my country and for my world. That's it.
Okay, Jude, I couldn't agree more with you. Well, one of the main purposes of FIRST is to create, as you said, the new generation of leaders that will help our world to be better in the future in science, technology, engineering, math, arts. So, well, what you're doing, Iran, it's an amazing. Mohammed, kudos to you, completely kudos to you, because
Thank
you're
you
doing
so
an
much.
amazing job, and just keep on that. Also, you guys, UK, Albania, all of you are working to build a better world and to get more prepared people for the future that will take our world to a better ending in following years. So just keep doing that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and well, I think it's been enough of Q&A, of questions. So why don't we pass to what should be the most interesting part of the show, and it's the trivia. Each one of you teams already know about the trivia. I told you before the stream, but let us explain it to the people that is looking at this. So, well,
Well, what we're gonna be doing is that we're gonna tell you guys a trivia question. There are gonna be
four questions.
four of them, and if you guys know all the answers, you can send them to our Facebook via DM, like it's a DM or is it an inbox?
It's an inbox, yeah.
Via inbox, and then if you got them right, we can give you
And a special Mexican
yeah,
prize.
and a special Mexican prize.
Something really Mexican. You'll
Yeah.
see, you'll love it.
It's a secret, but like it's gonna be like awesome.
Okay, there are some specifications. You got until midday CDT. I think we are 6 hours away from the UK, so that would be 6 p.m. in the. Where are you transmitting? In the UK, in London, right?
In London, yes.
London, yeah, 6 o'clock in London. I think in Albania it's also 7 hours or 6.
Yeah, it's 5:53 now here.
Okay, so yeah, it's like 7 hours too. It's gonna be 6 o'clock in the UK, 7 o'clock in
Yeah.
Albania, and well, right now it's almost 11 o'clock here in Mexico City. So you got until midday to send the questions of the answers of the following questions. So well, who begins? Well,
Let's begin.
okay, well, let's go. I'm gonna go ahead with the first question. And I think I've already helped you doing it with this, but I'm gonna ask it. Here we have Team UK, we got a Team Albania, we got a Team Iran, and Team Mexico. So now tell us, where of each country, or where are transmitting each one of us?
Oh, that's an easy one.
Not at all, not at all, believe me, not at all. It doesn't seem what it looks like.
Yeah, it doesn't say what it looks like.
It's not always the capital city, so tell us what city of each country is each one of us transmitting. So that's the first question. Okay?
Yeah.
So, well, you get a question, UK?
All right, yes. So we competed last year, so my question is, what musical act performed at the first global competition in Mexico City last year?
Whoa.
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
If you look into the sponsors for First Global, and
Okay.
you'll see some.
Okay.
I'm gonna look for
I
it.
got it.
I'm gonna look for it because like I got like what? Yeah.
Okay, well, it's okay.
That's a good one.
Team Albania, do you get any question you would like to do? A trivia question?
Sure. So our question is, how high is the reuse level of the processing barge?
Okay, could you say it again? I couldn't hear.
In millimeters, how high is the reuse level of the processing barge?
Got it, Iran, UK?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, and
Team Iran?
Team Iran, do you have a question for the
Yeah.
trivia?
Yeah, my question is about the first global in United States. Which team helped Team Iran to building a robot?
Oh, I think that could be found in your Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram account, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so just to repeat the questions again.
Yeah.
The first
Which
question
team-
was, where
Oh.
from each country is each one of us transmitting? That was the first question. And then the second one was UK.
The second one was last year in Mexico City. What was the musical act performing at the competition?
Okay, and then Albania.
In millimeters, how high is the reuse level of the processing barge?
Okay, and Iran.
And Iran.
Which team helped us to building a robot 2 years ago in US competition?
Perfect.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, I think the questions we just asked are a bit tricky, but well, you get an hour to find them out, so make sure to send them to our Facebook, and to win, you have to like each country's Facebook page.
Yeah.
So all of you get a Facebook page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to follow their pages in Facebook and then send us the questions with their answers, obviously.
Yeah, last episode we made this same activity like the trivia and we already got the winner, so
We'll tell you soon.
yeah, we have the winner and it will be nice if someone in this episode wins too.
Yeah.
Because like there's some interesting presents.
We'll tell you soon who got the last prize. And well, guys, it's almost 11 o'clock. It's what we were planning to. This has been, I think it's been a really amazing time with you. We shared some interesting points. We're gonna like work in a document about STEM and outreach activities. We like to set something after the live stream, like something physical, so the teams can work with it. So we're gonna be working in a document, and well, it's been an honor to be with you, Team UK, Team Albania, Team Iran. I don't know if you get anything to say before we end the transmission.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. It was a pleasure for us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, and thank you for having me here. It's my pleasure to be in this amazing live stream. Yeah.
Well, for all of you guys that don't know, we've been working in this transmission since last week.
Yeah.
When Team UK told us that they weren't able to be in the last transmission, but they wanted to be in this one. So we said, well, we got the UK, let's contact Albania. I think I contacted you, Albania, like 2 weeks ago, and you got the call like last week, and you told us, yeah, why not? And you got interested. And Team Iran, also last week there was something interesting. You were ready to be in the transmission, but I didn't send you the email, I think.
No, but like thank you so much, guys. It's been really nice, and I don't know. I think that this kind of activities, like to communicate like the teams with
Between each other.
Yeah, between each other. Like it's so
Exactly.
nice.
And we'll have more activities along you teams in the next weeks. So make sure to follow our social medias. Make sure to follow their social medias. They are under their images. And well, I got nothing else to say. That thank you for being here. Each one of us got a lot of things to share. There are also a lot of teams that still have doubts, and we'll be solving them in the next weeks.
Yeah,
So
and thank you so much for everyone that is watching this.
make sure to check our social medias. We'll be announcing the next episode in the following days, maybe on Monday, with more teams, more topics, and more interesting things to do. So, well, I think it's been all. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you in a week for more Global Talks. Thank you very much, teams.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.